Hello students, welcome back, and I hope you all are ready with your soil preparation. That is the activity which I told you have already prepared your soil and you're ready with your seeds. Yes, and you might have even, some of you might have even sown the seeds. Yes, okay. So I hope you're doing the activity well. All the best for your activity. Now, let's start today's session. Before I start today's session, let's have a quick recap what we learned prior. I think so. You remember last time we started with sowing of seeds, yes, and then in that I explained you about how to sow the seeds and how to select the best seeds, right? Even how the farmer selects the best seeds by the water test, yes. And then I explained you about how the farmer is sowing seeds nowadays with the help of a seed drill, right? Then the next part which we studied was about the crop rotation, right? What is meaning of crop rotation? Means growing, if the farmer is growing the same crop in the same field for many years, what happens is whatever nutrients are present, they are used up by the soil, and so the farmer has to do crop rotation so that he gets his nutrients back to the soil. That is, if wheat is a crop which requires more nitrogen, whatever nitrogen is present in the soil is used up by the wheat. So what the farmer does, he sows pea, right, or beans, any leguminous plants. I hope you remember what are leguminous plants. Yes, which have rhizobium bacteria in their nodules, root nodules, and what they do, they convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrogenous product and give to the soil, or we can say to the plant, right? So these leguminous plants are grown, and because of this leguminous plant, what happens, the soil gets its nitrogen back. Then you can grow potato, and then just keep the field empty for one season, and then again grow wheat, right? Okay, so this is the way how crop rotation is done in India, right? So what are the benefits of doing the crop rotation? The soil gets its nutrient back, right? And many more benefits. I have already explained you, right? Now, let's start with today's session. Today, yeah, last time I also explained about, we actually started with manure and fertilizer, right? uh, Today we will continue with that. What is manure, right? Organic matter used in the agriculture process by the farmer, it's called as manure. Now manure, why manure is used? Because it improves the fertility of the soil by adding, when you add this manure, it increases the nutrient also. As I told you prior, that plant need almost 18 different nutrients, out of which 3 are the sun, light, right, the water and air, and the rest all 15 it gets from the soil. So these nutrients are given by the fertilizers and manure, and that is why the farmer has to use the manure to give this nutrient back to the soil. Now what are the advantages of manure? What happens when the farmer uses manure? It helps to improve the texture of the soil. The texture of the soil is improved. It makes the soil porous. Now when the soil become porous, you all know that air can easily pass through it, and if air can easily pass through it, exchange of gases can be done easily, right? So this is again a benefit of using a manure. It also helps to hold moisture in the soil. You all know that plant require more water. Yes, they require water for growth. Without what we can say water, plant, even the seeds cannot germinate, right? So plant require a lot of water, and if the water holding capacity is increased of the soil, the plants are going to grow more healthier, right? So this is again an advantage of manure. It increases the number of friendly microorganisms. Yes, I have already explained you what are friendly microorganisms, right? So these friendly microorganisms are increased because of the use of manure. Yes, now let's see what are the different types of manure. There are actually three different types of manure. This is not there in your textbook. This is just for your in knowledge. What are the different types of manure? There are three different types of manure: the green manure, a farmyard manure, and the compost manure. We'll just see one by one what are these, what are the three different types. Like, first is the green manure. Now, what does the farmer does is, when he is going to use the green manure, he will grow some leguminous plants. I'm not talking about the leguminous plant that I explained you before, like pea, bean, and all. No, these are the leguminous plants like gourd, sunham, cowpea, cluster beans, etc. I have shared a picture of these all different green manure crops, right? And then what he does is, the farmer grows these leguminous plants. Now you all know that leguminous plants, they are rich in nitrogen, right? And then what he does is, he let his plants grow, and then afterward he plows back these plants into the soil. Now what will happen? This green manure, this green plant are then given back to the soil. So it increases the percentage of nitrogen in the soil, and so it is called as green manure. Why green? Because green plants are grown and then again plowed back into the soil, right? So it's called as green manure. Let's see the next one, that is farmyard manure. The name itself suggests what might be there. Whatever the farmer gets in the farm, in this field, that is called as farmyard manure. Like, for example, in the farm he uses his cattle, right? And the cattle dung is there, so that can be considered as a manure for the particular soil, right? Then urine of these animals, straw you get to, after what we can say harvesting, whatever waste is left in the farm, right? So straw and husk and all, that can be used as a farmyard. Even the leaves which are present in the field, so all that the farmer finds or gets into his field, that can be used as a farmyard manure. Cow dung is actually a very good all-purpose manure, we can say. Okay, it, because as I said, it has a very good balanced nutrients in it, so it is a best manure considered. Okay, now the next one is a compost manure. I think so you already know about composting. Then composting is nothing but, it is obtained from the dead plants and animal waste, right? Now it is made by burying. Now what, how the composting is done? What is done in composting is, a pit is dug in the soil or in the farm nearby, and then what is done, the layer of different waste material is made, and then a little water is sprinkled on it, and it is again covered with the layer of soil, and it will be kept for few months or few days, we can say, for rotting, right? And when they decompose, they produce a very good compost manure, right? Whatever what all things you can put into this compost bin or in this compost pit, it can be leaves, it can be grass, it can be the shrubs, weeds, bushes, whatever is there, as well as the plant twigs also. But children, you all know that material like plastic, plastic bags, plastic bottle, they are non biodegradable. Actually this composting works on biodegradation substance, right? So if you are using a metal or a plastic bag or a plastic bottle or a stone or dirt and all that, or we can say the food, that doesn't come in the compost. We should not put in the compost, right? You should put all the things that the farmer should use, all the things that he gets in the field, and that becomes as a compost. Yes, right. Now this is about all the different types of compost, right? Sorry, manures. Now I am sharing a link which will show or explain you about the properties and the method of preparation of manure. So please watch this link and come back to my class. Right now, uh, let's go to the next part, that is fertilizer. Okay, I hope you have seen the link. Let's start. Okay, now fertilizer. You are now clear with what is the manure. Now let's go to the fertilizer. Fertilizers are the chemicals which are actually mm, containing of plant nutrients, and these are made in the factories. They contain a lot of plant nutrient, we can say, right? But this plant nutrient, they are not organic, they are inorganic, they are made in the factory with using different chemicals, right? And so they are called as chemical fertilizers. For example, I hope you know the name urea, right? Ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash, NPK, 1919 or 2020, which is used in the garden usually, right? So nitrogen, NPK is nitrogen for N, P for phosphorus, and K for potassium, right? These are the few examples of chemical fertilizers. Children, for your information, till 1930, Indian farmers were not using at all chemical fertilizers. The chemical fertilizers came after 1930. Actually, it was after the Second World War. These chemical fertilizers were introduced to India. Before that, the farmer was doing organic farming only. What had happened, actually it is said that in what we can different countries like America, Russia and all, what had happened, Japan and all, during the Second World War, many factories were built for weapons, right? Means making different weapons, manufacturing different weapons. And then what happened, the war was over, and after the war was over, these factories were again then converted into the factories for production of fertilizers. And then lot of fertilizer was produced in those countries, and then it was introduced to Indian farmers as saying that it is going to give the best result to you. And actually the advantage of chemical fertilizer is really very good because it acts very fast, it gives the result very fast, right? The chemical fertilizers are immediately absorbed in the plants, and so as they are absorbed quickly, as compared to the other organic fertilizers, these have become more popular among the farmers, because what they feel is if they put this fertilizer in their field, they apply these fertilizers in their field, they are going to get abundant of crop, right? And as the plants grow faster, all the farmers, especially the Indian farmers, have switched on to this chemical fertilizers rather than using organic fertilizers, because they give results little slow, right? Now let's see the difference between manure and fertilizers. Just now I told you that the manure is an organic fertilizer, whereas fertilizers are the inorganic fertilizers. Or manure is rich in humus, as you know that I told you that for by decomposition of plants and animals, we get manure, so they will be rich in humus. But what about fertilizers? They are not rich in humus. They do not contain any humus. As I told before also, these are prepared in fields. Manure can be prepared in the field. Fertilizers are prepared in the factories. Manure is not nutrient specific. It only removes the general deficiency of the soil. But fertilizers are rich in nutrients. They are having specific nutrients in them, and so they provide lot of nutrients to the soil as compared to manure. Manure is not readily soluble in water, thus absorb slowly. This manure gives slow results, right? The crop will grow, but it will grow slowly. And fertilizer, it's just opposite. Fertilizers are absorbed in water and readily absorbed by the plants also, right? So that is the reason why these fertilizers actually dissolve in water, and then they reach the rivers and seas and then pollute the environment. Okay, we'll talk about this later, but I hope you understood the difference between the manure and fertilizer. Right now, I'm sharing a link which will explain in detail how the fertilizer work and what are the different types of fertilizers. Okay, so please watch this link. Okay, I hope you have seen the video, right? So now this is again an interesting activity that you will be doing in your home. Right now, what is this activity? Growing seedlings with manure, fertilizer and regular soil. Means what you're going to do is, in this activity actually you're going to take three different cups, in which one cup contains your regular soil, second contains manure, and third contains fertilizer. And then you have to grow the seeds in these three different cups and find out the result. And find out what result, which cup, seeds in which crop grows more faster and healthier. I have already explained you which substance is enhances the growth of the plant. Now this particular activity is in your textbook also and in your lab manual also. So I hope you, last time I told you about the first activity, okay, selection of seeds. Now this is again the second activity, in which you are going to what we can say, grow the seeds in soil, manure and fertilizer. Right now, to see the effect of manure and fertilizer on the growth of the seedling, right? This is the aim. Requirement, as I told you, you have to get three big what we can say, glass, and then any seed you can use, as well as manure, urea and regular soil. Now the thing is, I know many of you will say that you don't have the chemical fertilizer. Yes, it might happen that few of you will not have chemical fertilizers, but those who have these fertilizers, they can do this activity and post their result in the comment box. Now when you will post, you will, when you're going to send these pictures will be uploaded in the next session, and these children will be praised for that, for doing that activity, right? And the second thing is, you are going to complete this experiment in your lab manual also. In the lab manual, as I told you prior also, you have to write the aim, the requirement and the observation, and lastly you have to draw the diagram. Right now, this I want you all to complete the activity. Let's find out who all are going to do this activity. Those who are going to do the activity, their names and their photograph will be shared in the next session. or maybe next to next session, but we will be posting their results. Yes, so you want to see yourself, your name with the photograph? Yes, so be ready and start doing this activity. What you have to do is you have to observe and write the observation in the lab manual. Yes, I hope you understood what you are supposed to do. Yes, and I want you people to do it properly and post the result. Okay, fine. Now, let's go to the next part. Now, what is the next, which is very, very important? This part is not there actually in your textbook. But I feel, as a science teacher, I feel you should be aware of this. You are big enough to understand what food you are eating, what type of dangers you are facing. The food that you, the food that you get in your plate can be a poison also. Now, I'm not scaring you, but I'm trying to make you aware what is happening around, because I think so you all are aware that nowadays organic farming is, everyone is talking about organic farming and getting good food, organic food and all that. Now, why organic farming or why organic food? Right now, as I told you that fertilizers, before I told you that fertilizers are chemicals, and chemicals are not good for our health. For example, I'll give you a simple example. Children, you all know that wheat is grown abundant in Punjab. Punjab grows almost, what we can say 60 to 70% of wheat from India, right, is grown in Punjab. Now, what happens in Punjab is when the farmer is growing this wheat, he is using a large amount of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, weedicides, and to your information, children, there is from Punjab, there is a train which goes to Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, there is one hospital, very renowned hospital, okay, in Bikaner. And what happens is every week there is one train which is run for, which goes from Punjab to Rajasthan, and that train is called as a cancer train. Did you hear clearly? I said cancer train. Why the name cancer train is given to this particular train? Because this train, in this train, all the passengers that goes or boards on this train are cancer patients. You're shocked? Yes, I was also shocked when I came to know first time. Why cancer patients, so many cancer patients? Because in Punjab, the use of chemical fertilizers is so much that almost in every house there is, or every farmer's house, there are one or two cancer patients. And for the treatment, they go from Punjab to Rajasthan every week. And so there is a special train which is called as a cancer train. Oh my God, I'm really feeling, very bad to tell you, but this is the fact. This is the reality. You should know, right? So these fertilizers, pesticides, weedicides, which I'm going to explain you later, all these creates lot of damage to human beings. They cause disturbance to kidney, they cause, damage to liver, your lungs, and even, as I said, cancer. They cause, damage to human beings in such a way that you cannot recover it properly. Recovery is really very difficult. So this is, the bad part or the bad face of what we can say fertilizer. Now, there are many other disadvantages of fertilizers. The chemical fertilizers are non-renewable, right? they are not renewable again, right? Then they damage the plant and the soil. The when the chemical fertilizer, more and more chemical fertilizer is given to the soil, it damages the soil, right? Then it disturbs the pH of the soil. The soil becomes more acidic, and acidic soil do not grow, plants do not grow in acidic soil properly, right? All the minerals are, depleted. Then danger and the disturbance, if all ecosystem, our full ecosystem is disturbed, the what we can say, the air, the water, everywhere the disturbance is there in because of these fertilizers. Some harms of chemical fertilizers may cause in waterways also, as I told you. When the farmer is adding more and more fertilizers in his field, what he is doing, he is adding so much fertilizer that extra fertilizers get washed away due to the rainwater. Now this, from the rainwater, where the rainwater goes from the stream, it reaches the rivers. In the rivers, what are there? In the rivers, fishes are there. There are aquatic plants. What will happen to them? They are, yes, they will be, you know there is such a disturbance that at the end, these poisonous chemicals, when they are added, they die, right? So this is what we can say, the bad effect or the worst effect of chemical fertilizers. Pollution, as I told you about the air pollution, it pollutes the air, it pollutes the water. Even these chemicals, if they are given in more quantity, they can burn the crop. I don't mean burning with burning means actual burning with, like, when you burn a mastic, not like that. It burns the crop means the crop will die because of excess of chemical fertilizers. And as I told you, air pollution. So these are all bad effects of chemical fertilizers, right? So now I hope you have understood what are the bad effects or ill effects of chemical fertilizers. Now I am sharing a video. I wish that you all watch this video. It's really, an eye opener for us. We should really know actually what we are eating, what is going on. This is another second video, is also poison in your plate. Oh my God. Just watch these videos, and you will understand what is happening around you. You should be aware of what is wrong around you, right? So you can, when you grow up in future, you may change this. Yes, and I want my children to be be to change this world, and to give everyone a beautiful environment. Okay, now I hope you have understood what all I have explained you. So today what we did, let's have a quick recap. I told you about the manure. It's an organic fertilizer. Then I told you the advantages of manure. Then we went and to chemical fertilizers. Though chemical fertilizers give good result, they are good if they are used in proper way, proper quantity, we can say, right? Now, then difference between manure and fertilizer. Many times, two-mark question is asked, right? The difference between fertilizers and manure. So that you have to see properly. And then next one was about the bad effect of fertilizers. Actually, this part was extra part which I felt like sharing with you all. Okay. I am sharing a worksheet or assignment, you can say, for completion. Do please complete and revert it back to me. Okay. Yes, I hope you have enjoyed learning. Yes. Okay. Bye bye.